Hello again from France. It's good morning here, but good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. I'm enjoying some coffee, the sunshine, and my lovely dog, but also the sound of the birds and a full blue sky. And I can't see a single cloud. I'm going to talk a little about the elevate part of my space framework, because I think sometimes it's hard to see our growth and understand it. We really only see it when we reflect. And I used to work for Apple, and one of the things Steve Jobs said is that you can only connect the dots looking backwards. And I think it's important sometimes to stop and create space, create some level of reflection to actually see that you're growing. Sometimes it's so slow, even over years, it can be, shockingly slow. And it depends on where you're at in life, what your practice is, and what it looks like. Because at the beginning, when you are new at something, it's a crazy learning curve, and you're quickly assimilating information and you're taking it on board. But then you also get to a point where, within the beginner's mindset, you realize, oh my goodness, I have no idea what I'm doing. And this task is absolutely vast. And to get to a point of mastery or even competence, it takes so much. But that only happens when you're able to reflect and think about it. And I think fundamental to that is also that idea of you need space to be able to stop and think, to smell the coffee, or sit in the garden and smell the roses. And that can happen in many ways. Like, to be practical about it, I find that journaling is really helpful. So usually what I do when I'm having coffee in the morning, the first thing I do is get a pen, a piece of paper, and I make 10 or 15 minutes to think through my day, the day before, get anything that's kind of really at the forefront of my mind. It's, maybe it's emotional, or maybe it's kind of weighing on my mind in some way, and get it down on paper. Oh, the other dog's coming in for a sneak attack. This is Robin. I think you've met before. And this is Ivy. Good morning, Ivy. She's been in on the bed with my darling wife. Great, we've got 2 dogs on the video now. Bonus. You might only come here for the dog content, but that's fine. So journaling can be really helpful, but just having the space to reflect. And I think it's another helpful practice beyond journaling is actually taking space to look back at your work, to have a listen to the tracks, or read the pieces that you haven't totally finished yet, or you're not completely happy with. Flick through your pile of sketches and drawings. We often kind of have this real reverence for artists of the past, and we call them like the old masters, or they're absolutely amazing, and we highly value their artwork or their music. But I think because it was so long ago, it's hard to realize the amount of work they actually put in. So unless you go to like the Van Gogh Museum, or we were in Rome 2 years ago and we went to see some of the Da Vinci museums, but you actually see the amount of sketches and doodles and thought process they actually put down on paper, and even the amount of like prep work to do something like the Mona Lisa. There's lots of work where Leonardo drew human bodies and human forms, and there's outlines of faces and the hair. Like there's lots of work that goes into it. It wasn't just that he was born and one day woke up and randomly threw some paint at a canvas. all of his works that we know and are aware of are because of years of dedication and practice at their arts. And he took on plenty of jobs. I mean, the Sistine Chapel, to keep them going, to pay the bills, to work with a client or a patron, so that they could continue to make work and make art. I think in this day and age of, people pulling out their phone, making a video, and something blows up and they get tens of millions of views for a 15-second video on TikTok, that people think that there's this instant access to something, that there's no work or engagement involved. Having a video blow up and go viral is probably amazing for that creator, but I don't think it's going to change their lives. I think for something to really change, it takes that long-term investment, that real engagement in that process. Like building an audience is slow. Building a body of work is also slow. And building up the skills to get to a level of competence and mastery takes time in any discipline and format. I mean, yes, we can all pull out a camera and press the button and take a photo. But unless you start to understand light and composition and framing, and even the technicalities of your camera, you're going to end up with just what looks like a basic picture taken on a mobile phone. And a huge amount of the photo and digital media that we're producing is going to end up disappearing and being lost and meaningless. And I think in some ways it's even harder for people to stand out at the moment, because there's so much noise, there's so much vying for attention, that it's quite difficult to do it. But I think that the cream always rises to the top, and there's always this beautiful surfacing of amazing work. And thankfully, we also, because of the digital age that we live in, we have the tools to be able to get our work out to, and we're off. We have the tools to be able to get our work out to a wider audience. So maybe, like where we're staying here in France, I think there's 10 houses. So I might not find an audience here for what I'm trying to do. But thankfully, because of YouTube, I'm able to make a video about space for creativity, put it up, and find an audience all around the world. I'm always intrigued to see where people are watching from, because in the YouTube analytics, I'm able to see the people watching from Sweden or the Netherlands or Germany or Australia. Lots of you in America, hi. But South America, India, some people are watching with their own language subtitles on. So, hi, I'm sorry I don't speak any language fluently other than English. I have a smattering of words in some languages, but not enough to make a competent video for you. But if that's you and you're here, leave a comment in the video and say where you're watching from. I'd love to hear it. It's so intriguing to see that there's a world of creativity out there. And I think the other people watching this video would love to know that they're not alone. They're not the only people who are going, how do I, make my art and my creativity a focus of my life? And part of that, I really think, in this context of that idea of kind of elevating our work and elevating our thinking and elevating our process, is about investing in ourselves. And like I said in the last video, and I'll link it up here, is that we come to France or try to get away for an extended period of time every year, so that we can reset and have some sanctuary and choose to change our attention and our focus, and just have a chance to reflect. And when we reflect and we take that time, you're kind of marinating in all of the thought processes that got you here, and you realize, oh, I am making a step forward or a step up or going to the next level and getting ready for what's to come. But that doesn't happen if you're just always on your phone, if you're always busy, if you're always running around like crazy. That you need to allow space for that. And I also think it connects into the connection piece of my space framework. And that connection piece can be you talk to your mentor, you talk to other practitioners in your field, you talk to your partner, your friends, the people who kind of get and understand your work. And if you don't have somebody like that, I think it's worth seeking them out. Whether that's somebody like me, who's a creativity guide, who can hear you out and encourage you and shout you on, or it's somebody in your field. Like, thankfully, like I said, with the internet, there are, even if you're in the most niche field of art or whatever your practice is, there is somebody else out there doing it, and you can find, maybe obviously not the same way as you, because we're all individual and the work we put out is unique, and I just think that's amazing and fascinating. But there are people who are in a similar field to you who can cheer you on, who can appreciate your struggles and help you to figure out or share how they've moved forward. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep an eye. Puppy's over here. You coming back, puppy? Ivy, you coming back? Yes. Hi. Hi. Oh, good girl. Do you want me to throw that for you? Yes, you do. Okay. Excuse me 1 second. My puppy needs me to throw the ball. Come on, lovey. Okay, off we go. Oh. This is the infinite game of catch and fetch that we play. Isn't that right, puppy? Oh, more? Okay. Okay. I'm talking to these people though. So. Okay. That might be my prompt to go. But through the glory of YouTube, I'm going to put a video up here for you to watch the next time. We're going to keep playing fetch. And yeah. Try to make a little bit of space in your day, in your week, to reflect on where you're at. Maybe have a look back through your work, your journals, your collection of unfinished pieces, and seeing how you're making progress. If you want any help with that, there's a link in the description. I'd love to spend some time on a call with you and help you to figure out how to move forward. But until then, I'll be throwing the ball for the dog. Okay, see ya. She's good, eh? Okay, one more.